Hi Dr. Caps. In this video I'm going to talk about hydrogen bombs and atomic bombs. I watched that video that you posted and took some notes and then kind of researched a little bit more, and so I'm going to be reading you some of the notes that I took. So hydrogen bombs and atomic bombs are not technically the same. They both are categorized as nuclear bombs, but the mechanisms in which they explode are different. As an overview, nuclear bombs use nuclear energy to create an explosion, and the energy is contained in atomic nuclei, and when the energy is released during nuclear reactions, the energy is then released during nuclear reactions and radioactive decay. So the difference between atomic and hydrogen bombs and the chemistry that is used in both of them, I will first talk about atomic bombs. So the difference between the two is in how they explode and the chemistry that occurs to create that explosion. Atomic bombs must have a certain reaction occur in order to explode, and this reaction is called fission, and the fission is of heavy nuclei, such as the nuclei in atoms like uranium or plutonium, and it basically is breaking apart those atoms into smaller pieces. In this process, a small amount of mass is not conserved, but is rather converted into energy, and quite a large amount of energy. Fission also releases a lot of radioactive particles. The element that is typically used is uranium-235, which is a radioactive element. Similar isotopes can also be used, such as uranium-238 and 234. However, only 235 can be used to create a strong and powerful enough bomb. And in order for the bomb to be powerful enough, it must have a high concentration of uranium-235. Specifically, 80% uranium-235 is what is used. Also to note, plutonium bombs are created with uranium-239 isotope, but they are more rare than the uranium-235 bombs. So nuclear explosion occurs when critical mass is reached. One critical mass is not enough, though. A destructive enough bomb must have 4 to 5 critical masses of matter that use different elements. Implosion occurs when a small ball with all of the components for nuclear reaction is needed, but is not quite at the critical mass. When properly exposed to the environment that is needed, the space inside of the bomb will begin to shrink towards the center of the shock wave, and density of the mass will increase, which creates a nuclear explosion once critical mass is reached. For hydrogen bombs, they work through fusion, which is the opposite process that atomic bombs use. Fusion is where the smallest atoms, like hydrogen, are thrown together to create larger atoms or larger molecules. So again, mass is not conserved, but fusion bombs release many times more energy than fission bombs. However, fusion can only happen at incredibly high temperatures, which can be created through nuclear fission. So typically, hydrogen bombs have atomic bombs inside of them to trigger the hydrogen bomb chemistry reaction of fusion. Hydrogen bombs themselves do not release many radioactive particles, but the fission triggers do. In a hydrogen bomb, thermonuclear fusion occurs with, typically the element is lithium hydride, the molecule is lithium hydride, and an integrated nuclear device with low power, which is called a detonator. And when activated, energy is released, which triggers the thermonuclear reaction of fusion. I think that pretty much sums up the differences of the two and the overview of the chemistry that is used in both types of bombs. I think that is all. Thank you so much.